Hello, my name is David Haggard. I'm the independent IT consultant. In today's demonstration video, I wanted to show you what it's like for a pen tester or a criminal hacker to obtain your social media or even web-based user account information. And it's really quite simple because the user is just going to give it to them. Now, this demonstration is going to oversimplify the entire process. But the pen tester or the criminal hacker is going to more than likely spend some time creating a scenario to where the target is going to accept that the website is a legitimate website and they're going to just enter their login credentials. Now we're going to go to two websites. One's going to be Twitter, the other one's going to be Google. But this type of attack isn't limited to social media. This could be your bank account. It could be your software vendor. For example, if you use QuickBooks. Okay, so what may happen, as a theoretical example, the pen tester or the hacker will send the target an email. The email is going to look official. It's going to look like it's come from the vendor or the website itself. And it's going to have potentially several links in there. Now, the email content is going to try and entice the user to click on one of those links to log into the website. When the user does that, the links actually get redirected back to the pen tester or the hacker's server, which they control. And when the user puts in the login credentials for that particular website, at that moment, the pen tester or hacker now has the login credentials for that website, assuming the user didn't mistype their login credentials. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. Before we get started, if you haven't gone to my website, if you come to this video through other means, please go to my website, check it out. It's really short and simple. Go over to the blog section. If you like this video, go to the blog post, hit the like and recommended, share it off to your social media if you can. Someone else might find this video valuable or interesting. If you want future updates, please subscribe to the newsletter. I don't spam out, I periodically send updates out, but it's a good way so you don't have to keep coming back. You just get reminded when something gets published. Okay, so I have I'll just get out of this. I'll start over here. So Set Toolkit is a framework. It has many types of attacks that are available. And we're not going to look over all of them today. We're just going to look at the one for credential harvesting through websites. But in this particular program, it's menu driven. I will cover other attack vectors at another time, but I'll just jump straight into those social engineering attacks. And we're going to go to number 2, which is website attack vectors. And we have our various options for website attacks. We're just going to go to 3, which is credential harvester attack method. Now in this option menu, if you're not very technical, basically what this means is we have a couple options. The first option is this program gives us a few base templates. Okay, so and we'll look into that shortly. Option number 2 is site cloner, which basically means we can clone a website. So what happens is this program will make a copy of the website. Maybe not the entire website, but it will determine the login page, or it might just do the index page, like the first page you go to when you go to Google. And in there will be login details, right? Username and password and login. And that's what's really being copied here. The third option is custom import. So I can import my own website to be served on my server here, and we'll see that here in a moment. But for demonstration purposes, we're going to jump to the templates just so it's faster. So here it's just, we're just telling it what our IP address is. Okay, so we have a couple templates available. We're going to look at Twitter and Google today. So we'll start with number 2. Okay, so the program has taken the Google template, the login template, and it's now being served on a web server on this machine here. So we'll just load up a web browser on the same machine, and we'll watch what happens. So the idea at this point is I've created a web server, I'm hosting this fake login page, and I'm trying to send the user or entice the user to click the link that goes to this bogus login page. Okay, so we'll assume that we've sent this user an email, and there's links in there that take the user back to my bogus login page. So this is what it's going to look like for the user when they click that link. In this particular case, this is what the Google login page will look like. This may change over time, but we can use the site cloner to clone the updated version. Now, be mindful of the URL address here. The attacker or pen tester can be a little bit more creative in creating the scenario that's believable. So as a pen tester or the hacker, I can buy my own domain, and I can do what I can to make it look like official domain, and that will hopefully trick the user to believing this website is a legitimate website. But you'll probably find that most users don't really pay attention to that. It has gotten better over time, but people, they may just believe the website that they go to, and they'll put in their login credentials. So in this case, we'll just do google@test.com. We'll just put password 111. We'll hit sign in. And what happens now is after the failed login occurs, and there's no indication that it's actually failed, like no error messages, our web server back here is going to redirect the web browser to go to the actual website. As you notice, we are not logged in, and we're at the search bar. So it's quite possible the user might think they mistyped the login credentials, or something weird happened, so they might try again, right? So they might hit the login option, and they go, oh, well, the screen looks a little different, but whatever. And they'll put in their details here, and they'll go through that process. And then they'll more than likely log into Google and carry on. But what's actually happened on the attacker's web server, we have the email address typed in and the password typed in. So now the pen tester or hacker has the login credentials for this website. Now that's assuming the user didn't mistype the login credentials. But keep in mind, this is just the Google login. Okay, so we'll jump back out. So now the web server is not running. 192. Okay, so as we see, there's no response from the web server. So we'll go back into Credential Harvester. We'll do custom web templates, and we'll use Twitter. It's option number 4. Now the web server is up and running. We'll just refresh this, and now we're at the Twitter login page. So all this looks official. So even if I go to the link here on the bottom left on this side, it actually redirects to the Twitter registration form. So what we'll do is let's do test. We'll do simple. We'll hit sign in. Again, there's a redirection back to Twitter. We are not logged into the website. And on this side, we have the user email of test and the password of simple. Okay, so that pretty much shows you the simplified way of what this looks like from both sides. Now, the user may not believe the website and they might close it down. That's probably not going to be the case. And more than likely, the attacker is going to obtain the login credentials. Keep in mind that users tend to reuse the same passwords, reuse the same email addresses. So if they log into Facebook, they use their primary email account, and they might use one or two passwords for various websites. So when the attacker receives the login credentials, there's a good chance that that account information will work across multiple sites. This includes your banking account if you do web banking, and the user may not even be aware of it. So once this occurs, the user can go to the banking website if they have done open source intelligence gathering, which is basically research against the target. So they can potentially find what bank they work with, various ways of trying to find specific information about that person. They can use these credentials to increase their chances of successful login into various web accounts. And that concludes the demonstration for this video. If you like it, again, please go to the website, like and share the video. Thank you very much for your time. Have a wonderful day.